New study out from the Centers for Disease Control on the health impact of alcohol in America, and they found that, quote, 10% of deaths for people between age 20 and 64 are alcohol-related. Roughly 71% of those who die prematurely in those deaths are male, and over half of them die as a direct result of binge drinking. That's fucking amazing. Think about that. 10% of adults are dying because of alcohol. That's stunning, man. That's way more than I would have guessed. And the only things that beat out alcohol are the usual suspects. So tobacco, the other legal drug, poor nutrition, and sedentary lifestyle. So I'm stunned by this, man. And to me, the interesting conversation to have that branches off from this is nobody even considers banning alcohol. I've never heard a single person my entire life in casual conversation ever bring up, yeah, you know, alcohol is so bad for you that we should probably ban it. Everybody's got what I view as the correct response in these situations, which is the predominantly libertarian idea of, well, look, to each their own, man. We accept that certain people are going to kill themselves with this substance, and we're willing to take that because the flip side of that is the overwhelming majority of people who consume the substance are moderate users, and it's not going to affect them in any serious negative way, and they can control themselves. So we look at it as a cost-benefit analysis, and we say we prefer the benefits of having alcohol legal, you know, the idea of stress relief and partying and kicking back and enjoying a mood-altering substance every once in a while. We think that that outweighs the downside, which is still a large downside, that 10% of adult deaths are because of alcohol. But look, man, I agree. I mean, this kind of fits in. I know it's kind of silly and corny and cheesy to bring up in this conversation, but this kind of fits in with that old school cliche and that platitude of give me liberty or give me death. You know, it's the idea that I'd rather have liberty and even destroy my life having the liberty than anything else. Fuck that. I'd rather you kill me than have something like living in a country where we can't enjoy alcohol or we can't enjoy the freedom to take different substances. You know, and I think we should take this attitude and apply it in all other areas with substances. I really do, because it's picking and choosing, and you only have people's own opinions to go off of when you're deciding what substances to legalize, instead of actually basing our policy off of a principle. That principle being people should be able to put in their body whatever they want to put in their body as long as they're not hurting anybody else. Look, I don't care what your take is on which drug you prefer or don't prefer or which drugs you think should be legal or shouldn't be legal. It's none of your fucking business what Jeremy down the street decides to put in his body, even if what he's putting in his body is going to end up fucking killing him. Even if he decides to wake up in the morning and chug a gallon of Clorox, okay, and that's going to kill him. Should we really be passing laws to pick and choose? Because guess what? Whenever we do prohibition, what's the result? It ends up making the problem worse anyway. I mean, when we did alcohol prohibition, what happened? The mafia got control of the alcohol industry. That's what made the mafia incredibly rich and lucrative. And then they got this tremendous amount of power because they controlled the speakeasies. And by the way, sometimes they would sell a product that would kill you because it was not for, you know, binge drinking, which of course you could kill yourself that way too. But I'm talking about bad batches of alcohol because it's not regulated. When the marketplace isn't regulated, you can have a bad batch every once in a while and people will die. When you legalized it, now there are no more bad batches. You have to just fucking binge drink to kill yourself, right? Or do sustained use over an extended period of time. And now we have, whenever there's a dispute, you go to court to solve it, as opposed to what it used to be back when there was prohibition. You solve it with a Tommy gun in a drive-by. And the same thing is happening with marijuana right now in the United States. I mean, the Mexican drug cartels are incredibly powerful because marijuana is illegal. If marijuana wasn't illegal, you know who would be selling it? Walgreens. Walgreens would have a higher market share. CVS would have a higher market share. Maybe Budweiser, maybe Jose Cuervo, all these different companies. Maybe they would get involved in selling marijuana and producing marijuana. And by the way, they would do it in a more safe, regulated way. And you wouldn't have to worry about where it's coming from. And there wouldn't be a literal war on the border where people are fucking getting beheaded and 60,000 people died because of the drug cartels. That wouldn't exist if we got rid of prohibition. So this idea of banning some things, having other things legal because we think they're better, it's not even true. It's not true. You know, as I'm demonstrating to you right now, alcohol is one of the worst substances, and nobody bats an eyelash and thinking, maybe we should ban it. Nah. And everybody goes, sit down, shut up, let's fucking be adults here, and you're allowed to do it as long as you're not hurting anybody else. That same idea needs to be applied in all the other areas for substances, because that's the only way where we would be consistent and where we would actually give a fuck about freedom.